Hello, everyone. Welcome to Speak English Confident. I'm Nora, and I'm so happy you are here with us today.
And I'm Miles. And I have to say, today's topic makes me nervous.
That means it's a good topic.
We're talking about disagreeing, right?
Yes, how to disagree politely in English without sounding rude, without creating conflict, and without feeling guilty.
That last part is important. I often feel guilty when I disagree.
Many people do, especially in another language.
Yes, in my own language, I can explain my feelings clearly, but in English, I worry that I sound too direct.
That's very common. English can sometimes sound direct, but polite disagreement is a skill, and today we're going to practice it step by step.
I really need this. At work, I often stay silent even when I have a different opinion.
Why?
Because I'm afraid my English is not strong enough, and I don't want people to think I'm aggressive.
That word is important. Aggressive means too forceful, too strong in a negative way.
Yes, I don't want that.
Good. Let's start with something simple. Disagreeing does not mean fighting.
But sometimes it feels like that.
That's because disagreement can feel emotional, especially if the topic is important. Let's imagine a simple situation. You are in a meeting. Your colleague says, "I think we should increase the price of our product," but you think that's a bad idea.
My first reaction would be, no, that's wrong.
That is honest, but it sounds strong.
Yes, too strong.
Instead of saying "you're wrong," you can soften your language. Soften means make it gentler. For example, "I see your point, but I'm not sure that would be the best approach."
That sounds much more polite.
Yes, let's break it down. "I see your point" shows respect, but "I'm not sure" shows hesitation, not attack. "That would be the best approach" sounds professional.
Approach means method or way.
Exactly. Now let's practice together. Your colleague says, "We should finish the project by Friday, even if the quality is lower." What do you say?
Maybe, I understand your idea, but I think quality is more important than speed.
Very good. That's clear and respectful. But sometimes I feel my heart beating fast when I disagree.
That's natural. Disagreement activates emotion.
Activate means to start something.
So how do I stay calm?
First, breathe. Always breathe before you respond. Second, remember that having a different opinion is normal. It does not mean you are attacking someone.
But what if the other person gets defensive?
Defensive means they feel attacked and try to protect themselves.
Yes, that happens.
That's why tone matters. Tone means the feeling in your voice. You can say the same sentence in two ways. "I disagree with you," or "I respectfully disagree."
Just adding respectfully changes the feeling.
Yes, small words make a big difference. Now let's talk about another real-life situation. You're with friends. One friend says, "This restaurant is terrible," but you actually like it.
That's easier than work, but still uncomfortable.
What could you say?
Maybe, really? I actually like it.
Good. That's natural. You can also say, "I had a different experience. I thought the food was pretty good."
That sounds calm.
Notice something important. You are not saying "you're wrong." You are saying "my experience was different."
That feels less confrontational.
Confrontational means likely to cause conflict. Now let's go deeper. Why is disagreeing so hard emotionally?
Because we want to be liked.
Yes, that is honest. Many people connect agreement with acceptance. Acceptance means being liked or approved.
So when we disagree, we fear rejection.
Exactly. But here is something important. Healthy communication includes different opinions.
Healthy means balanced and good.
Yes, if everyone always agrees, there is no growth. Growth often comes from respectful disagreement.
I never thought about it that way.
Let's try a workplace example again. Your manager says, "We don't need more time for this project," but you believe more time is necessary. Instead of saying, "That's impossible," you could say, "I'm concerned that without extra time, we might miss important details."
Concerned means worried in a professional way.
Correct. This shifts the focus from the person to the problem.
That's powerful.
Yes, focus on the issue, not the person. Instead of saying, "You made a bad decision," say, "I'm worried this decision might cause delays."
That sounds much safer.
Exactly. Now I want to practice something more personal. Imagine you are talking to a family member. They say, "You should change your job. It's not good for you," but you are not ready to change.
That feels emotional.
Yes, so we need calm and clear language. You could say, "I appreciate your concern, but I feel comfortable with my current situation."
That sounds respectful.
Let's practice together. I will say a strong opinion. You respond politely. Online meetings are a waste of time.
I understand why you might feel that way, but I think online meetings can be useful if they are organized well.
Excellent. That was balanced. Now, notice how you started. "I understand why you might feel that way." That sentence shows empathy.
Empathy means understanding another person's feelings.
So the structure is show understanding, then express.
Yes, that is a powerful formula. Let's say it clearly. Acknowledge, then express.
Acknowledge means recognize. Exactly. Now I want to talk about fear again. What is your biggest fear when disagreeing in English?
That I will not find the right words, and there will be an awkward silence.
Awkward means uncomfortable. Silence is not always bad. You can pause and think. You can also use thinking phrases. For example, "That's an interesting point. Let me think about that for a moment. I see what you mean."
These give me time to think.
Yes, they create space. Now let's practice a small speaking exercise. Repeat after me. I see your point.
I see your point.
I understand where you're coming from.
I understand where you're coming from.
However, I have a slightly different view.
However, I have a slightly different view.
Very good. Slightly means a little. Using words like slightly, maybe, perhaps, a bit, they soften your disagreement.
So I don't need to sound strong to be confident.
Exactly. Confidence is calm, not loud, not aggressive, calm. Now imagine this. You are in a team meeting. Everyone agrees with an idea, but you feel something is wrong. Your heart beats faster. You think, "Should I say something?"
Yes, that moment is very stressful.
In that moment, you have two choices: stay silent and feel uncomfortable later, or speak politely and feel proud later.
When you say it like that, the choice is clear.
Growth often feels uncomfortable at first, but respectful disagreement builds confidence. And today, we're building that confidence together. Take a slow breath. You are allowed to have opinions. You are allowed to express them. And in English, you can do it with calm strength. We're just getting started.
Nora, can I tell you something that happened to me last week?
Of course. What happened?
I was in a team meeting. My colleagues suggested a new marketing idea. Everyone said, "Great idea." I didn't agree. I thought it was risky, but I stayed quiet,
How did you feel after the meeting?
frustrated, and a little disappointed in myself.
That feeling is important. It means your opinion matters to you.
Yes, but in that moment, I froze. I didn't know how to start.
That's very common. So today, let's practice exactly that situation. Imagine your colleague says, "We should invest a large part of our budget into social media ads immediately." You think it's too fast and too risky. What could you say?
Maybe I'm not sure that's a good idea?
That's honest, but let's make it softer and more professional. You could say, "I think that's an interesting idea. However, I'm a bit concerned about the budget."
Ah, a bit concerned sounds less aggressive than it's risky.
Exactly. The phrase a bit makes your sentence gentler.
So small words change the emotional impact.
Yes, emotional impact means how your words make others feel. Now let's improve your sentence even more. After expressing concern, suggest an alternative. Alternative means another option. For example, perhaps we could start with a smaller test campaign before investing a larger amount.
That sounds very professional.
Because you are not just disagreeing, you are contributing.
Contributing means adding value.
Correct. Disagreement without solutions can feel negative. Disagreement with solutions feels constructive. Constructive means helpful and focused on improvement.
I like that difference.
Good. Now let's talk about tone again. Imagine two versions of the same sentence. Version 1, that won't work. Version 2, I'm not sure that will work as expected.
The second one feels calmer.
Yes, adding I'm not sure and as expected reduces tension. Tension means emotional pressure in a conversation.
I often speak too directly because I translate from my first language.
That's very natural. Different cultures communicate disagreement differently. In some cultures, directness is normal and even respected. In others, indirect language is preferred. Indirect means not saying something in a very straight way.
English seems more indirect in professional situations.
Often, yes. Now let's practice another real-life situation. You and a friend are planning a trip. Your friend says, let's book the cheapest hotel we can find. But you care about comfort. What do you say?
Maybe I'd prefer something more comfortable.
Very good. I'd prefer is a powerful phrase. It focuses on your preference, not their mistake.
Preference means what I like more.
Yes. You could also say, I understand we want to save money, but comfort is important to me, especially for this trip.
That sounds balanced.
Because you acknowledge their reason first. Acknowledge, then explain. That pattern works in many situations. Now let's talk about a more emotional situation. Imagine someone says something you strongly disagree with. For example, people who work from home are less productive. Maybe you work from home and feel proud of your work.
That would make me defensive.
Defensive means feeling attacked and wanting to protect yourself. In that moment, you might want to say, that's not true. But instead, you can say, I've had a different experience. When I work from home, I'm actually more focused.
That feels calmer and more personal.
Yes, you are speaking from your experience. Personal experience is harder to argue with.
That's true.
Now I want to explore something deeper. Why do we sometimes avoid disagreement in English more than in our native language?
Because we feel less powerful.
Exactly. When your vocabulary feels limited, your confidence feels smaller.
Yes, I worry that I can't defend my opinion well.
Let me tell you something important. You do not need complex vocabulary to defend your ideas. Simple and clear is enough. For example, I see your point, but I'm worried about the long-term effects. Long-term means over a long period of time.
That sentence is simple but strong.
Yes, clarity is stronger than complexity. Now let's practice a small role play. I will say an opinion, you respond politely but clearly. Working overtime should be mandatory for everyone.
I understand that overtime can help during busy periods, but I believe it should be optional whenever possible.
Excellent. You showed understanding first, then your belief. Now another one. Team meetings are unnecessary. We should just communicate by email.
I see what you mean about saving time, but I think meetings can help improve teamwork and reduce misunderstandings.
Very good. Misunderstandings means confusion or incorrect interpretation.
I feel more confident when I have these sentence patterns in my mind.
Exactly. Patterns reduce stress. When you have a structure ready, your brain relaxes. Now let's talk about disagreement with authority. Authority means someone with a higher position, like a manager.
That is even harder.
Yes, but it is still possible. Imagine your manager says, "We don't need to double-check the report," but you think double-checking is important. Instead of saying, "I think that's a mistake," you can say, "Would it be possible to review the report one more time just to ensure accuracy?"
That sounds very respectful.
Yes, questions can be softer than statements.
So instead of saying, "You're wrong," I can ask a question.
Exactly. Questions create discussion, not conflict. Now let's practice that. Your manager says, "We should skip customer feedback this month."
Would it be helpful to gather at least some feedback so we can understand customer concerns?
Excellent. That sounds thoughtful, not rebellious. Rebellious means strongly resisting authority,
I don't want to sound rebellious.
and you don't. Now I want to talk about something emotional again. Sometimes when we disagree, our voice shakes.
Yes, that happens to me.
That is because of adrenaline. Adrenaline is a chemical in your body that increases energy when you're nervous.
So it's physical, not just mental.
Exactly. When you notice your voice shaking, slow down. Speak a little slower than usual. Lower your tone slightly and breathe before your sentence.
That helps control the emotion.
Yes. Now let's do a short confidence exercise. Repeat after me. My opinion matters.
My opinion matters.
Myself calmly.
I can express myself calmly.
Disagreement does not mean disrespect.
Disagreement does not mean disrespect.
Very good. Respect means showing consideration and care for someone's feelings. You can disagree and still show respect. That is mature communication. Mature means emotionally developed and balanced.
I think I'm starting to understand something important.
What is it?
I think I'm understanding that disagreement is not about winning, it's about sharing.
That is a beautiful way to say it. Yes, it is not a competition, it is a conversation, and every time you speak up respectfully, you strengthen your voice, not just your English voice, your personal voice, and that is powerful.
Nora, can we talk about something that really scares me?
Of course, Miles, what is it?
What if I disagree politely and the other person still reacts badly?
That is a very real fear.
Yes, sometimes people don't like disagreement, even if you are respectful.
You're right. And this is important to understand. You are responsible for your tone. You are responsible for your words, but you are not responsible for someone else's reaction.
That's hard to accept.
It is, but it's true. If you speak calmly and respectfully, you have done your part.
So if they get angry, it doesn't mean I did something wrong.
Not necessarily. Sometimes people feel uncomfortable when their ideas are questioned. That discomfort is about them, not you.
Discomfort means feeling uneasy.
Exactly. Now, let's imagine a situation. You say in a meeting, "I see your point, but I think we should consider other options." And your colleague responds, "So you think my idea is bad?"
Oh, that feels tense.
Yes, tense means emotionally tight or stressed. In that moment, stay calm. You can say, "Not at all. I think your idea has strengths. I just want to explore all possibilities."
That sounds balanced.
You are clarifying your intention. Clarifying means making something clear.
So I don't need to defend myself aggressively.
Exactly. Calm clarification is stronger than emotional reaction. Now, let's explore a different situation. You disagree with a close friend. Your friend says, "You never make time for me," but you feel that is unfair.
That would hurt my feelings.
Yes, in emotional situations, language becomes even more important. Instead of saying, "That's not true," you can say, "I'm sorry you feel that way. That's not my intention. I value our friendship."
That feels softer.
Yes, you are acknowledging their feelings without accepting blame.
That's difficult in the moment.
It is. Emotional control takes practice. Now let's talk about something many learners struggle with, saying no.
Oh, yes, saying no is very hard.
Why?
Because I don't want to disappoint people.
Disappoint means to make someone feel unhappy because expectations were not met.
Yes, I don't want that.
But sometimes saying yes when you mean no creates bigger problems later.
That's true.
Let's practice polite ways to say no. Imagine your coworker says, "Can you finish this report for me? I'm too busy." But you are also busy. Instead of saying, "No, I can't," you can say, "I'd like to help, but I'm currently working on a tight deadline."
Tight deadline means very little time.
Correct. You can also say, "I'm afraid I won't be able to take this on right now."
I'm afraid doesn't mean I'm scared. It's just polite.
Exactly. It softens the refusal. Now let's practice. Your friend says, "Can you help me move this weekend?" But you already have plans.
I'd love to help, but I already have plans this weekend. Maybe I can support you another time.
Perfect. You said no, but you kept the relationship positive.
I feel more confident when I have these ready sentences.
That's why practice matters. Now let's go deeper into workplace disagreement. Imagine this situation. Your team decides to launch a project next week. You believe it's too soon. Everyone seems excited. You feel nervous to speak.
Yes, that moment when everyone agrees except you.
In that moment, you can say, "I might be wrong, but I'm slightly concerned about the timeline."
I might be wrong makes it softer.
Yes, it shows humility. Humility means not acting superior.
That feels safer.
Then you can add, "Do we have enough time to test everything properly?"
Turning it into a question again.
Exactly. Questions invite discussion. Statements can feel like judgment. Now let's practice a more challenging role play. I will say something strongly. You respond calmly. Your plan is unrealistic. It will never work.
I appreciate your honesty. Could you help me understand which part seems unrealistic to you?
That was excellent. Instead of defending immediately, you ask for clarification.
That gives me time to think too.
Yes, and it reduces emotional escalation. Escalation means a situation becoming more intense.
Sometimes arguments escalate quickly.
They do, especially when people interrupt each other. If someone interrupts you, you can say, "May I finish my point, please?"
That sounds polite but firm.
Firm means strong and steady, but not rude.
I like that balance.
Balance is key in disagreement. Not too soft, not too aggressive. Now I want to talk about something internal. What happens inside you when you disagree?
My heart beats faster, my mind becomes blank, I worry about grammar.
That is stress. When stress increases, your brain focuses on survival, not language.
That explains why I forget simple words.
Exactly. So before you speak, pause. Take one slow breath. Even 1 second makes a difference.
It feels small but powerful.
Very powerful. Now let's build a longer disagreement response together. Situation: your colleague says, "We should remove customer support to reduce costs." You strongly disagree. What could you say?
Okay, I see that reducing costs is important. However, I'm concerned that removing customer support could damage our reputation and affect customer satisfaction. Perhaps we could look for other ways to reduce expenses instead.
That was excellent. Let's look at what you did. You acknowledged their goal. You expressed concern. You explained consequences. You suggested an alternative. That is mature disagreement.
I feel proud of that answer.
You should. Now let's explore disagreement in daily life again. Imagine a family member says, "You should get married soon. You're not getting younger."
Oh, that's personal.
Very personal. Instead of reacting emotionally, you can say, "I understand you're thinking about my future, but I'm comfortable with my current path."
That feels calm and self-assured.
Self-assured means confident in yourself.
Sometimes I forget that I'm allowed to choose my own path.
Exactly. Disagreement is not rebellion. It is self-expression. Now let's practice one more emotional scenario. A friend says, "You've changed. You're not as fun as before." That could hurt.
Yes, that would hurt.
Instead of saying, "That's ridiculous," you could say, "I'm sorry you feel that way. I've been focusing on different priorities lately, but our friendship still matters to me."
That keeps the connection alive.
Yes, disagreement does not need to break relationships. In fact, honest and respectful disagreement can strengthen relationships. Strengthen means make stronger.
Because it's more honest.
Exactly. Now I want to say something important to everyone listening. If you avoid disagreement because of your English level, you are limiting your voice. Your grammar does not need to be perfect to express a clear opinion. Your accent does not reduce the value of your ideas. Your pauses do not make you weak, they make you thoughtful.
That makes me feel encouraged.
Good. Every time you speak up respectfully, you grow, not only in English, but in confidence. And that confidence stays with you in every language.
Nora, I've noticed something about myself.
What have you noticed?
When I finally disagree and express my opinion, I keep thinking about it later. I replay the conversation in my head.
Replay means you think about it again and again.
Yes, I analyze every word. I wonder, did I sound rude? Did I make a mistake?
That is very common, especially when speaking a second language.
It's exhausting.
Yes, overthinking can be exhausting. Overthinking means thinking too much about something, usually in a negative way.
How do I stop doing that?
First, ask yourself one simple question. Was I respectful?
If the answer is yes,
Then you can let it go. You are learning. You are growing. You will not say everything perfectly.
but what if I actually sounded too strong?
Then it becomes a learning moment. Growth does not come from avoiding mistakes. It comes from reflecting calmly. Reflecting means thinking carefully about something to learn from it.
So instead of judging myself, I should reflect.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about something important. Sometimes disagreement is not about opinions, it's about boundaries.
Boundaries?
Yes, boundaries are limits you set to protect your time, energy, and emotions.
That sounds powerful.
It is. For example, imagine a coworker often asks you to stay late to help them. At first you say yes, but inside you feel tired and frustrated.
Yes, that happens to me sometimes.
Setting a boundary means saying something like, "I understand this project is important, but I won't be able to stay late tonight."
That feels strong.
It is strong, but it is not rude. You can add, "I'm happy to help during regular working hours."
So I'm not rejecting the person, I'm protecting my time.
Exactly. Disagreement and boundaries often connect. Now let's practice a longer workplace scenario. Imagine this. Your manager often changes deadlines at the last minute. You feel stressed, but you never say anything. One day, you decide to speak up. What could you say?
Maybe the last-minute changes are difficult for me?
Good start. Let's expand it. You could say, "I've noticed that deadlines sometimes change at the last minute. When that happens, it becomes challenging to maintain quality. Would it be possible to have more stable timelines?"
That sounds very professional.
Notice the structure. You describe the situation calmly, you explain the impact, you ask for improvement.
That feels balanced.
Yes. Now let's talk about disagreement in group discussions. Sometimes the problem is not what you say, but when you say it.
What do you mean?
If emotions are already high, it might be better to wait for a calmer moment.
So timing matters.
Very much. If two people are already arguing loudly, adding your disagreement might increase tension. In that case, you can say, maybe we can take a short break and revisit this in a few minutes.
Revisit means talk about it again later.
Yes, that shows emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence means understanding and managing emotions, both yours and others.
I want to improve that.
And you are. Now let's practice a scenario where someone disagrees with you. That can feel even harder.
Oh yes, when someone challenges my idea, I feel defensive.
That's natural. Imagine you present an idea in a meeting. A colleague says, I don't think that will work. How do you respond?
Maybe, why not?
That could sound sharp depending on tone. Instead, you could say, thank you for your feedback. Could you share your concerns?
That feels more open.
Yes, you are inviting explanation, not starting conflict.
Sometimes I take disagreement personally.
Many people do, but disagreement is usually about ideas, not about your value as a person.
That's an important difference.
Very important. Now let's try a full dialogue. I'll be your colleague. I don't agree with your proposal. It seems too expensive. You respond.
I understand that cost is an important factor. From my perspective, the investment could bring long-term benefits. Maybe we can review the numbers together to see if adjustments are possible.
That was excellent. You stayed calm, you acknowledged their concern, you explained your reasoning, you suggested collaboration.
Collaboration means working together.
Yes, disagreement can lead to collaboration, not separation. Now let's talk about something more personal again. Sometimes we disagree with ourselves.
What do you mean?
Sometimes you think, I should speak up, but another voice says, stay quiet.
Yes, that happens all the time.
That internal conflict is also important. Conflict means struggle between two sides.
So, how do I decide?
Ask yourself two questions. Is this important? Will staying silent cause regret later?
Regret means wishing I had done something differently.
Exactly. If the answer is yes, then speak, politely and calmly. If it's a small issue that does not matter much, maybe silence is fine. Not every disagreement needs to be expressed.
That makes sense.
Notice that confidence is also about choosing your battles wisely.
Choosing your battles means deciding what is worth arguing about.
Yes. Now let's practice expressing strong disagreement politely. Situation. Someone says something that is factually incorrect in a meeting. For example, our sales increased by 50% last quarter, but you know the number is 15%. What do you say?
Maybe I think the number was lower?
Good. Let's make it clearer and still polite. I might be mistaken, but I believe the increase was closer to 15%.
I might be mistaken makes it softer.
Yes. Even if you are sure, that phrase reduces confrontation.
That's very useful.
Now, imagine they respond with, no, I'm sure it was 50%. What do you do?
Maybe, should we check the report to confirm?
Perfect. You move from argument to evidence. Evidence means proof or data.
That feels much safer.
Because you are not attacking the person, you are focusing on facts. Now I want to slow down for a moment. Take a breath. Think about one situation in your life where you often stay silent. Maybe at work, maybe in your family, maybe with friends. Imagine yourself speaking calmly in that situation. Imagine your voice steady. Imagine your words clear.
That visualization feels powerful.
Visualization means imagining something clearly in your mind. When you imagine success, your brain becomes more familiar with it.
So it feels less scary in real life.
Exactly. Every skill feels uncomfortable at first. Disagreeing politely is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with practice. You are not trying to become confrontational. You are not trying to win arguments. You are learning to express yourself with respect and confidence. And that changes the way people see you. But more importantly, it changes the way you see yourself.
Nora, after all this practice, I feel something new.
What do you feel?
I feel stronger. Not louder, not aggressive, just stronger inside.
That is the best kind of strength. Real confidence is quiet. It does not need to prove anything.
Before, I thought confident people always speak quickly and never hesitate.
That is a common misunderstanding. Hesitate means to pause because you are unsure. Confident people also hesitate sometimes. They just do not panic when they do.
I like that.
Let's take everything we learned and imagine one final situation. You are in a team meeting. A new strategy is being discussed. Everyone seems excited, but you notice a potential problem. Potential means possible in the future. Your heart beats faster. Old version of you stays silent. New version of you breathes.
Okay, I'm breathing.
You say, I think this strategy has strong potential. I do have one concern, though.
That sounds balanced.
Then you continue, I'm wondering if we've considered the impact on customer support.
That feels natural.
Notice something. You did not attack. You did not accuse. You contributed.
That word contributed feels important.
It is. When you disagree respectfully, you are contributing to better decisions. Now let's imagine another final scenario. A friend says, You've changed. You don't agree with me like before. Instead of feeling guilty, you smile gently and say, I think I'm just becoming more honest about my opinions, but I still respect yours.
That sounds mature.
Yes, mature communication allows differences. It allows space for two opinions in the same room. Now I want to speak directly to you, the listener. If you avoid disagreement in English because you're afraid of mistakes, remember this. Your grammar does not define your intelligence. Your accent does not reduce your value. Your pauses do not make your ideas weaker. Clear, calm, respectful. That is enough.
Nora, can I share something personal?
Please.
In the past, when I disagreed in English, I felt small, like I was taking a risk just by speaking. But now I feel like I'm allowed to have space in the conversation.
You are allowed. Everyone is. Language is not just about vocabulary, it's about presence. Presence means the feeling that you belong in the room.
That's powerful.
Let's do one last speaking practice together. Repeat after me. I can disagree respectfully.
I can disagree respectfully.
My voice matters.
My voice matters.
I can stay calm under pressure.
I can stay calm under pressure.
Disagreement is part of healthy communication.
Disagreement is part of healthy communication.
Very good. Now imagine your next conversation. Someone says something you don't agree with. Instead of fear, you feel steady. Instead of silence, you feel choice. You choose your words carefully. You acknowledge, you explain, you breathe. That is confidence.
I think the biggest lesson for me is this. Disagreement is not about fighting, it's about expressing.
Yes, and expression is a form of self-respect. When you speak up calmly, you respect yourself, and when you speak politely, you respect others. That balance is powerful. Now let's reflect for a moment. Think about one situation this week where you can practice polite disagreement. Maybe at work, maybe with a friend, maybe in a small daily conversation. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Even something simple like, I actually prefer another option. Small steps build strong habits.
And habits build confidence.
Exactly. Confidence is not born in big moments. It is built in small ones. One sentence at a time, one breath at a time, one respectful disagreement at a time. Thank you for practicing with us today. Keep using these phrases. Keep speaking up. Keep trusting your voice.
And remember,
You don't need perfect English to express a clear opinion.
You just need courage and practice. This is Nora.
And this is Miles.
And you are listening to Speak English Confident. Keep speaking, keep growing, and never be afraid to let your voice be heard.